In Mark chapter 4, Mark records that when large crowds came to Jesus, Jesus taught them using parables. Parables have been defined as earthly stories with heavenly meaning. Jesus used the everyday experiences of His listeners in order to communicate profound kingdom principles. But the parables did more than just clarify difficult concepts. They also served to divide the merely curious from the serious seekers. Because while almost everyone could understand the story, very few were willing to do the hard work of understanding the kingdom concept being communicated. Jesus told a parable in which a sower went out to scatter his seed. Some fell on the hard, packed down soil, and it was never able to take root. Some fell on the stony ground, and while it was able to take root, when the sun rose, it scorched it and withered it because its root system was so shallow. Some fell among the thorns, and while it took root and sprang up, so did the thorns, and it choked out the life of the seed. Some of the seed fell on good soil, and it took root, sprang up, and produced fruit, and in abundance. When Jesus interpreted this parable to His disciples, He told them that the parable was really about the Word and hearts. When the Word of Jesus was communicated, people responded in various ways, and every person in the world is in this parable. Some people, when they hear the teaching of Jesus, are so hardened by prejudice or by their sin that the message never really can sink in. Some people respond gladly to the message of Jesus. They respond eagerly in obedience to the gospel. But not very long after, persecution arises. Maybe their family rejects them. Maybe they have to make sacrifices. Maybe their friends won't associate with them anymore. And in short order, they fall away. Some people have such cluttered lives that while the message of Jesus is able to take root, it never is able to bear much fruit in their life because they have so many other cares and worries and preoccupations that they are not devoted to bearing fruit. But some people have good and honest hearts. And when the Word strikes them, they respond by letting it sink deep and change them from the inside out. And they bear fruit in keeping with the fact that they have decided to follow Jesus. And so the question for all of us today is, what kind of soil are you today? What kind of heart do you have right now? As you read and study the words of Jesus, does it even have a chance to sink in? Do you respond like some people respond to New Year's resolutions? And you're eager, but then you wither away. Do you have so much other going on in your life that it's hard for the Word to produce much change? Or are you that good and honest heart that when you read something that you need to change, when you find something that needs to change the way you've been living, do you hear that and obey it and bear the fruit in keeping with the fact that you are a follower of Jesus?